Good morning, everybody. First, we like to offering the request to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha to offer mandala.
Good morning, and we will start the teaching by offering a mandala and requesting the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha for these Dharma teachings.
Saye Boje Jesha Medada Rera Leje Nyeden Jambande Saye Yindo Mede Powai Dogo Nanda Jela Jabasho Sanje Namje Sambadam Loye Jeta Jetawa Jeje Tamo Tebai Jeje Korlo Kordo So English.
By the virtue of offering to you, Buddhas visualized before me, this mandala, built on a base resplendent with flowers, saffron, water, and incense, adorned with Mount Meru and the 4 continents, as well as with the sun and moon, may all sentient beings share its effects. I pray that the wheel of the Dharma be turned in the form of the greater and lesser vehicles, for as many different aptitudes as are present in the motivations of all sentient beings.
Namo Nae Kadadang Juke Tabanda Me Konantang Dua Kunje Dagwe Chizam Tanje Kede Dagwe Chidungu Lama Rumbo Shila Suani Dansile Tora Shinjelo Gume Jela Jora Shinjelo Jime Nantum Kapara Shinjelo Ranse Jime Dabara Shinjelo Chabara Jora Shinjelo Nasu Jiku Dabara Shinjelo 다스 순전 당연로 주선 로라 신전 나도서 주랑도 로라 신전 나도서 랑저 버스로 신전 나도서 주바에서 저라 신전 나도서 장사와도 신전샤바도 뉴스여러 고유 소인 교와 주선다 그 지상 선제다가 그 지던도 Nanja Sanjara Moshi, Majibana Jijaji, Jibanya Bamibana, Kondo Kondo Bewa. Namo Sayan Katalodan, Yuka, Tabota Dame, Ganadon, Rua Kunjida Kijizam, Tajika Dakishid. Welcome to teachings. When you keeping hearing today, then every day contemplate to your mind as to remembers. Then like as putting to every day 1 drop of water, then sooner or later fill up. But if you listens but never keeping, but then part as leakings, then never come up.
So every day, Lama is encouraging us to contemplate the teachings that we're about to receive, to remember them. It is like a pot that is being filled with water drop by drop. If you remember the teachings, then drop by drop, the pot will be filled. But if you listen to the teachings today and you're not remembering or taking them with you, Lama says it's like a pot with a hole in it. It never gets filled.
Since these teachings, to today's lessons, then contemplate, and this life to benefit to us, and not only that, then habitual tendencies, future within your next life, be also tendency always there.
So listen to and contemplate these teachings, Lama is saying, and then if you do that, you will certainly receive benefits in this life. If you don't remember these teachings after today, the Lama said, that is like a habitual tendency that tendency to not keep in mind the teachings will follow us from lifetime to lifetime.
The past, sometimes we are something good deeds, so now this life is to interested people, also fortunate to enter to Buddha's path.
So in our past lives, Lama is saying just the fact that we're here today and are interested in the teachings of the Buddha, just that fact alone is sort of proof that in our past lives we have done many virtuous deeds, the result of which is that we're here today.
Then futures, this life only we are short, only how long we stay, 100 years, that's all. But future, countless lives. So this life to improve, not improve, depends on this life. Then future, that's our result.
So this life that we have now is just a very short life. It's just 100 years long at maybe at the most. But we will have, without doubt, many countless lives going forward. And in our future, we don't know what that would be like. So if we keep these teachings in mind, practice the Buddha Dharma, then we will certainly have improved future lives. That will be the result of what we do in this life.
Usually our people thinks this life is finished, they finish. Not that way. This life is only one life to fortunate with human life. Future again countless life. Until to Buddhahood, then until that you always higher rebirth, lower rebirth, higher rebirth, lower rebirth, countless life.
There are thoughts that this life is the only life, and after this life is over, when we pass away, that's it, we're finished. But Lama says, no, that's not really how it works. We have many countless future lives ahead of us until we reach Buddhahood.
But today we're not much talking, but we are only 2 hours. Then I will, to teaching this Akshobya as to 5 Dhyana Buddhas. 5 Dhyana Buddhas for 4 directions, center as the 5 Buddhas. And this teachings to Eastern Buddha, Akshobya. Usually, human beings to eternal enlightenment opportunity we have with nature. So, South Buddha, North, Center Buddha, that's all meditations, study hard, different levels to go to Buddhahood. But then the Akshobhyas East, then Amitabhas for West, there's 2 Buddhas. If you study and diligence, and you have faith, then wisdom, then one life for the Buddhahood to possible that.
And this teaching about Akshobya is one of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas. These 5 Dhyani Buddhas are the Buddhas of the 4 directions and the center. And all human beings have Buddha nature, Lama said. And through the fact that we have Buddha nature, we have the potential to reach Buddhahood. The Buddhas of the south, the north, and the center, the central Buddhas of the 5 Dhyani Buddha families, one can attain Buddhahood through diligent meditation, perseverance of meditation, and study. With the Buddhas of the East and the West, Akshobya being the Buddha of the Eastern direction, with the Buddhas of the East and the West, Lama is saying, it's a little bit different. With practice, one through study and diligence in one lifetime, as opposed to countless lifetimes, in one lifetime, one is able to attain Buddhahood.
So that's the reasons that enough to the Amitabhas, so many countries using, but then Akshobya, not many countries do know. But this practice as Akshobya to 2010 for His Karmapa, 70th Karmapa for Chinese searching to this text, searching to, then he little bit doubt about not complete. So then he Sanskrit Indian to Tibetan research, and then he something knows something missing. Then he searched to Chinese to Tibetan. Then Chinese he found a copy, and Chinese to translate to Tibetans. So then he 2010 since to every year he sponsored to 10 and 15 lamas to his own place to Bodh Gaya, then retreat. So this 2010 I was there, the copy from the for Chinese to Tibet.
Lama's giving you a little bit of a history on this practice through His Holiness the 17th Karmapa. The Buddha of the Western direction is Amitabha, and Lama is saying that Amitabha, that Buddha, is quite popular and is well known in many Buddhist countries. The Buddha Akshobya of the Eastern direction is lesser known. In 2010, in Bodh Gaya in India, after the Kagyu Monlam there, His Holiness the 17th Karmapa invited 15 lamas for a retreat with him on Akshobya. His Holiness, previous to the retreat, had done some research and had searched many different countries for this sutra. He found one in Chinese, and he translated it from Chinese. Previous to that, this sutra had been in Sanskrit, and when His Holiness translated it or had it translated from Sanskrit to Tibetan, he wasn't 100% sure that this was a true translation of this sutra. So when he found this one in Chinese and translated it himself from Chinese to Tibetan, that is when he invited the 15 lamas, and Lama Rinchen was one of them. Since that first initial retreat in 2010 in Tergar Monastery in Bodh Gaya, His Holiness the 17th Karmapa has annually had a retreat around the time or after Kagyu Monlam, and invites 15 lamas, different lamas each time, to this retreat so that they would become familiar with the Buddha Akshobya.
So then, for this Akshobya's practice, this is so important to us. Usually, for sutra traditions, sutras, Vinaya, Abhidharma, the three typicals as the for Vinaya and sutras, Abhidharma, are negative to practice to purify to ourselves, negative to purified. But then if you call as 5 hinayas, 5 hinayas means if you kill to your parents, if you kill to arahat or nuns, then if you to destroy to in the monasteries, that kind of 5 hinayas, but then any practice you cannot be purified. But then this practice be then purified. That's the only. And then if you someone's very negatively born to already as hell beings, but then it's this practice to 3 or 5, 7 days practice, and then this person to born to hell, then as a release. See, that's so powerful. That's the reasons to we try to practice here. And then also if you with this practice, this life you cause a previous life, this life you have some obstacles, hindrances to sickness, obstacles then as this practice also pure pacified.
The Tripitaka is a sutra, the Abhidharma, and the Vinaya. This is a teaching of the sutra. This is a sutra. And Lama said The teachings contain that are sutras, Vinayas, and in the Abhidharma, all of these teachings can purify our negativities. But this particular teaching on Akshobya's mantra has even more powers. For example, Lama's talking about the 5 heinous deeds. Sometimes it's called the 5 uninterrupted sins. And these are killing your mother, killing your father, damaging or destroying a Buddha, killing an arhat, killing a nun. These are the 5 heinous deeds. And if you do this practice sincerely, one can purify these deeds. Because remember, we have countless past lives. We may have committed one or more of these deeds in our past lives, and so this is a practice that one can use to purify those deeds from one's past. Also, Lama said, if beings are born in hell, they are hell beings because of their aggression and anger, and the actions that they caused that were rooted in anger or aggression. If one does a practice for those beings can also be released from the hell realms. So Lama's saying, this is why I'm teaching you that we have created causes in this life that will create or already have or will create hindrances to us, sicknesses, obstacles, things that will create suffering for us. These, we have already committed the causes for these. And so Lama says, this is true for all of us, and this practice as well will purify and pacify those negative deeds of body, speech, and mind that we have already committed in this life.
So that's the reason, if our body too dirty, we could shower. Our clothes too dirty, we got washing machines. But our mental obstructions, mind is dirty, then only I can this practice, but otherwise no chance.
So when our bodies are dirty, we take a shower. When our clothes are dirty, we wash them in the washing machine. And likewise, Lama's saying, our minds are clouded with lots of negativity, perhaps, and other kinds of thoughts that really have negative consequences. So for the mental cleaning our minds, clearing away the obscurations that we have, the negative emotions and so forth that have roots in our minds, this is the practice that will help us to pacify those.
So especially our West, so everybody's busy, then there's one shot, then you practice so easy for you.
Especially for us in the West, Lama says, we're always so busy, we really don't have much time, and we like things that are short and quick to do. So this practice is a good one for us.
So then again, then how the Akshobya as a house like the Buddhas, all the 5 Dhyana Buddhas, looks like similar but different colors, and then also mudras, little bit difference.
Lama's going back to talking about the 5 Dhyani Buddhas, the Buddhas of the 5 directions, and he said they might all look similar to you, but actually each one is a different color, and each one has a different mudra. Mudra is a Sanskrit word meaning gesture with their hands, a different hand position.
So then this Buddha as Akshobya as the blue, and then his for right hand as like Buddha's gesture as the earth, touching to the earth. Left side then holding Vajra standings. Then left side then holding like this, Vajra holding this. The right is a gesture like this.
Akshobya is dark, deep blue in color, and his mudra, or his gesture with his hands, is that his right hand is in the earth, touching just down, and fingertips touching the earth with the palm out this way. And his left hand, he's holding a Vajra like Lama is, and the Vajra is standing up. And that's the mudra or the hand gesture of Akshobya.
Then the robes as the monks' robes, 3. Chugu, Namjar, Lagu.
He has 3 robes. He's wearing the robes of a monk, not the elaborate ornaments and silks of some other deities. He is wearing the robes of the monk, 3 of them. Chogu, Choku,
Namjar,
Namjar, and Shamtap.
Tamshab.
Tamshab.
The English didn't have any recognition.
The Tamshab is the bottom, the Choku is the top, and the Namjar is the zen, the shawl-like.
She does. Then sitting as for elephant, 8 elephants, and above this 8 elephants, above as a lotus, lotus above then to moon disk.
And Akshobya, for the visualization, Lama is describing Akshobya because the visualization is part of the practice that we're going to be doing. The visualization is that Akshobya is sitting on a throne that is supported by 8 elephants. And on the seat of the throne is an open lotus. And on this open lotus is a moon disk that is laying flat on the open lotus.
Then that's the above as the white, below home syllables. Light comes from the syllables, go out, all beings purified. Then light comes back, then Akshobya appears.
So to continue the visualization from the 8 elephant throne, the lotus and moon disk, on the moon disk is a blue syllable hung, the Tibetan syllable hung, and it is blue. And from this blue hung, light is shining out in all 10 directions.
Then all sentient beings purified, then appear into the Akshobya form.
And all of those sentient beings who reside in the 10 directions receive this light, and they are transformed into Akshobya.
Then actually the lights come back, then for that home is transformed from actually Akshobya appears.
And then the light that has shined out in the 10 directions comes back to the syllable hung, and the syllable hung turns into Akshobya.
Then Akshobya, like I just mentioned, all the robes, mudras, like completed.
And so Lama is saying, I just explained to you the visualization of Akshobya. He is blue, he has 3 robes, right hand is in the earth-touching mudra, left hand is holding an upright vajra, and so forth.
So then he's no hat, but he's a tuktur.
Akshobya is not wearing a crown. His head is bare except for a ushnisha, which is a Sanskrit word for a crown protuberance.
She does the visualizations.
That's the visualization. We are focusing now on the heart center of Akshobya. So Akshobya is sitting on an 8 elephant throne, on a lotus, on a moon disk. He is sitting there, and in his heart center is the blue syllable hung. And encircling the blue syllable hung is his mantra, and it is rotating. It's around the hung, and it is rotating in a clockwise direction.
So that's when you practicing, then visualization, that's Akshobya at the front of you.
So when you are practicing this sutra, Lama said to visualize that Akshobya is in front of you.
Then yourself also belong to Akshobya.
And you yourself become Akshobya.
Then the front of Akshobya, the yourself Akshobya, both sitting there.
So you are Akshobya, and there's an Akshobya in front of you. You are both sitting there.
So when you practice in time, then against to no smoke, no alcohol, no meat, no garlic, all the drugs, things not usable.
So before you do this practice, it is important, Lama says, to not have consumed meat or garlic or alcoholic beverage or drugs, not to have smoked.
You can practice, but you practice for not clear and no power. When you practice clean your faith, first you need motivation. Number one is the motivations, faith important. Second thing is clearly to working for sentient beings. So because always Buddhist mind important to thinking about sentient beings. This all Buddhas to work with sentient beings, the Buddhahood. We are always me, I, we follow to our ego. So then again to samsara. So that's always right motivation to think about first as a sentient beings. That's important.
So Lama said, if you consume meat, alcohol, garlic, have a cigarette or take drugs before you do this practice, you can still do the practice, but the power of the practice will not be there. He said the most important thing to remember in engaging in this and any other practice is one's motivation, and that one have immovable faith. So Lama's saying, you know, all of the Buddhas, their motivation was to work for the benefit of sentient beings. And because of this pure intention, before they became Buddhas, they were able to reach Buddhahood. He said, for us, sometimes we get very caught up in our own egos, in what we ourselves want. And when we follow our ego, it doesn't lead us to Buddhahood. Instead, it leads us to be reborn again and again in samsara. Samsara is going round and round.
The ignorance. Ignorance means we are suffering because we don't understand, for reject or give up. Positive things we cannot increase or cannot adapt. So that's what we have called ignorance. Then looking to happiness, but we same time to looking happiness, but ignorance to continue to acting to negative things. That's what samsara means.
So samsara means really ignorance. It is a state of ignorance. Beings in samsara are in a state of ignorance where they don't know what it is that causes them suffering, so they continue to engage in it. And they don't know what positive acts of body, speech, and mind to engage in that will result in happiness. So this not knowing or ignorance is the characteristic, is the nature of samsara. Beings are looking for happiness, but they are ignorant of how to attain that.
So then looking to happiness, but same time again to future to suffering, to actions, doing so. That's then looking to happiness, but same time future cause to actions, what do you call, to continue doing this.
Again, Lama is saying samsara is the mindset of beings who are looking for happiness, but they don't know what they are engaged in with their body, speech, and mind is in the future going to cause them unhappiness. That is the mindset of beings in samsara.